disk, means CD, DVD, or magnetic tape. Now, this particular diagram, in this particular diagram, here you see that registers are present at the level 0. Their capacity is minimum. Then level 1 cache memory have higher capacity than that. Then level 2 main memory have higher capacity than that. Then disk storage, then the backup storage. Now here in this memory hierarchy, two things are inversely proportional. What is inversely proportional? Here the bandwidth means the latency time that from that memory level to the CPU, what will be the latency time of for data transfer. So here from level 0 to level 4, the capacity will increase, but latency time means the bandwidth will decrease. So here the capacity and bandwidth, these are inversely proportional. If the capacity is increased, then bandwidth will decrease. If the capacity is less, then bandwidth is high, because as it is the as it is the lowest level of that particular memory hierarchy. Now, what do you mean by lowest level? Lowest level means the particular register which is present within the CPU. We have seen there is several special purpose register, general purpose register. So these are present within CPU. So that's why what that latent bandwidth is very less. Okay. Now then their cache memory. So here cache memory, it is present just after register at the level 1. So its capacity is more than the register, but bandwidth is less than the register. So here why we need cache memory? We need cache memory because here for a data or instruction, means for the particular data or the instruction which will work upon the data, we have, yes, lot of people are waiting. Okay, don't you have prior information about this class, that Rajiv sir class will be taken by me? HOD madam send you a mail. Okay, it is not possible for me for allow student to enter in the class throughout the class.
So it was not mentioned clearly in the mail, sir.
Okay. Look here, I am sharing the particular mail. What is the mail HOD ma'am send you? Dear student, this is inform you that during absence of Rajiv Biswas, Professor Uttam Kumar Das will take Info 2201 classes, and Professor Sudipta Bhadra will cover all the module of Info 2202 with immediate effect. Okay, whatever. From today onwards, you please make it sure that you are attending the class. Either Rajiv sir or me will going to take this class. The means this class will be taken by anyone, either Rajiv sir or by me. Okay, so you please make note it. So here in the memory hierarchy, the 5 parameters are there which are important. Please follow the highlighted part. The access time, memory size, cost per byte, transfer bandwidth, and unit of transfer. Okay. Now here the access time refers to the round trip time from CPU to the ith memory level. Ith memory level means, say here in case of main memory the level is 2, in case of cache memory the level is 1. Now memory size means the capacity. Now in case of capacity, the particular size in number of bytes or words. Okay. Now words is a when CPU take the data or instruction from cache, so or main memory, it's take the data instruction in form of words. Okay. So here number of words are transferred, it's not in form of number of bits are transferred, number of words are transferred. So here the word length is number of bytes are transferred. Okay. Now here the word length may be 8 bit or 16 bit. Normally 16 bit word length is there. Now the cost of the ith level memory is estimated by the product of the capacity of the memory, that is SI, and the cost per unit. Now cost per unit is that for each unit, for say for example for each byte, what is the cost? Here in case of in case of register the cost is high, in case of cache lower than that, in main memory lower than that, but the capacity is increased. Okay. So the total cost of the ith level memory is capacity per unit, so cost per unit into capacity of that particular level. And the bandwidth bi is a parameter which refers to the rate at which information is transferred between adjacent level. So the rate at which, so the access time, this is the access time here from level 0 to level 4, the capacity is increased as well as access time is also increased. Means what? The latency between CPU and the particular level. Means what? From level 4 to CPU, the access time will be higher than the level 3, and level 3's access time will be higher than level 2. So main memory, the round trip time means what? Data sent from main memory to CPU and then CPU to main memory. This round trip time for main memory, it is more than the cache memory. So the although higher level, if you go from lower level to higher level, the capacity will increase as well as access time will increase, as well as from higher level to lower level, the increase of cost per unit happen. Okay. And the bandwidth is the particular rate at which information is transferred between adjacent level. So here the adjacent level means between level 1 and level 2. What is the rate of transfer between level and level 2? Level 2 and level 3, what is the rate of transfer? That is the bandwidth in memory hierarchies perspective. Now here, this is the overall diagram of 4-level memory hierarchy. Now here, this, please follow the highlighted part, that it follow these particular conditions. that ti minus 1, the lower level memory, have less access time than ti. Okay, means ti minus 1 will have less access time than ti. The lower level memory s I minus 1 have capacity that is less than si. Okay. Similarly, cost per unit ci minus 1 will be greater than ci. When the level is low, then the cost per unit is high. When the level is high, then cost per unit is low. Then the bandwidth is high in the lower level, means bi minus 1 in than the bi. Okay, and here the particular x I minus 1, that is the particular unit of transfer. Now unit of transfer, here unit of transfer x I minus 1, unit of transfer is represent that between two adjacent memory level, what will be the unit of transfer? Means what? When data are transferred from cache memory to the register, it is transferred in form of what? When the data is transferred from main memory to cache memory, it is transferred in form of block. When data is transferred from hard disk HDD to main memory, it is transferred in form of page, okay, or in form of segment, page within a segment. Okay, so here the unit of transfer word means when the data is transferred from level 0 means register to CPU, that is what byte or word. Okay, now cache memory to register byte or word, that is less than the main memory to cache memory, that is block. So block unit of transfer is size is more than the byte or word. Okay, more in respect of the number of bytes. Okay, so say here 1 byte is transferred in from between the level 0 and level 1, but in level 1 and level 2 means the main memory and cache memory, the block are transferred. The block are transferred in say 20 byte form a single block. So that means what unit of transfer is one block, but that is equal to 20 byte. Okay, so that is size. So here the unit of transfer xi minus 1 is always less than xi. Size of the unit of transfer of lower level is always less than the higher level. Now here in the register and cache, so here register is built within the processor chip. Cache also sometimes built in the processor chip or the processor board. Okay, now why cache memory is required? As repeatedly if you transfer the data from main memory, the round trip time means access time is quite high. So why not make a intermediate means make a bridge between register and main memory? That bridge is cache memory. Cache memory hold the recent data. Now whenever or the locality of reference is there, the chunk of data is there, so that if there is any uh, data request, so if it is available in the cache, then the access time is low. If it is not available in the cache, then there is a cache miss happen, and this cache miss happen means you have to access, means you have to bring it from the main memory. Okay, so whenever you have to bring it in the cache, and then from the cache it will bring to the register. So here the register request for some particular memory address from the memory address register. We have seen the memory address register stored the, now that memory address register will going to first check, means that address will be first check that is that particular unit is present in cache memory or not. Okay, if that particular unit is present in cache memory, then it is okay. Now here in cache memory also there is several level of cache. Level of cache means what? L1 cache, which is uh, low size. L2 cache, which is high size, means its size is larger than L1. Okay. Now what is the facility? That facility is that if the search area is very less, then it is easy to search anything. So L1 cache is a small search area. If the data is find, if register get the data, CPU get the data, so it's bring the data to register immediately. If the data is not there in the L1 cache, then it's go for the L2 cache, and the L2 cache size is more than L1. So then it's search the particular L2 cache data. Now again, if the L2 cache is not there, then it have to go for main memory. Okay, so in main memory is mainly DDR, SDRAM, dual data rate synchronous dynamic RAM. Okay, now the main memory, the RAM chip, whatever we are familiar with. Now DDR means dual data rate synchronous, dual data rate SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM. Now here, one thing you please remember, that the memory management of cache is control, means MMU, memory management unit, control the cache, means programmer have no direct access to the cache. Now cache, transfer of data from cache to register, transfer of data from main memory to cache. So this is totally memory management, MMU control this thing. Now MMU, in case of main memory, not only MMU, along with MMU, operating system also control the memory management. Okay, now memory management, main memory is present in level 2, then in level 3 and 4 disk drives, means level 3 means hard disk is present, and then level 4 backup, means mainly for archive purpose. Now here disk drives, why we need disk drive? Because we have lots of programs, and here the main memory is a volatile memory. Now OS is stored in disk. At the time of boot, OS is loaded in the main memory, then we get the all the interface and all these things. So that is, no, that is the first thing, that the you can't store OS in main memory RAM. Second thing is that there is lots of process, and you are going to do multi-programming thing, that multiple program will run simultaneously. So the main memory size is not sufficient to provide that amount of memory. So here disk drive or HDD, hard disk drive, is used to provide that particular space, so that multi-program environment, we can get multi-program environment. Multi-program environment means what? Lots of programs are running at the same point of time. So here there are other peripheral technology, but they are not part of the memory level. Peripheral technology means the printer, monitor, and other IO devices. Now the memory hierarchy, whatever we have seen, that level 0 to level 4, this memory hierarchy follow three property: inclusion, coherence, and locality. What is this inclusion, coherence, and locality? Okay, let me show you a table. Say here, this particular table 4.7, it is a memory characteristic of a typical mainframe computer. Okay, now here you see that memory level at the level 0 CPU register, the device technology is ECL, where the access time TI is 10 nanosecond, and the access time is increasing as the level is increasing. In the access time at the level 0, that is 10 nanosecond, but at the level 3, that is 12 to 20 millisecond. Okay, similarly here you see that capacity in bytes, the level CPU registers capacity, as it is mainframe computer, that's why the registers are quite high capacity registers, 512 bytes. So here, but the disk storage capacity is 62 to 28 gigabytes. Unit also high in case of level 0, corresponding to all the higher level. Bandwidth, the MB per second, in MB per second. In case of level 0, it is quite high. In case of other level, it is quite low. Here, in case of level 3, the bandwidth is 3 to 5 MB per second. Okay, so here 3 to 5 MB per second, this bandwidth means the megabyte per second. Okay, sorry, the MB per second means this in form of bit. Okay, now here when you are talking about capacity, then it is form of bytes, megabytes, gigabytes, kilobytes, bytes. And when it is bandwidth, means transfer between two adjacent level, then it is form of bit, megabit, kilobit, gigabit. So here, this thing you please remember, these are the basic thing. Now unit of transfer, here in case of register, the unit of transfer is 4 to 8 bytes per word. Means 4 to per word size is maximum 8 bytes. Okay, now word size is 8 byte means that from level 1 cache, when the data will transfer to level 0 CPU register, then it will be transferred in form of word. Okay, now in level 1, the block size is 32 bytes. Now block size is 32 bytes means from the main memory to cache, the particular data will be transferred in form of block. Okay, and the block size is 32 bytes. Now here in level 2, it is 0.5 to 1 kilobytes per page. Now here when the transfer happen between disk storage and the main memory, it is happen in form of page. So the page size is vary from 0.1 to 1 kilobyte. Okay. Now when the transfer happen from the archive storage, means the DVD, CD or magnetic disk, magnetic tape, to the disk storage, means HDD, then it is happen in form of file. Okay. And the file size is, for this mainframe computer, it is 5 to 512 kilobytes. Now here the allocation management. Allocation management, as I told you, that uh, memory management means allocation of the particular allocation of the particular space, means who will control, who will perform the role of memory management. So the in case of register, it is compiler assignment. In case of hardware, it is hardware control. Sorry, in case of cache, in case of main memory, operating system control it. In case of disk storage, also operating system control it or user control it. And in case of uh, tape storage, that is operating system control it. Now the three property, as I told you, that memory hierarchy technology, this particular hierarchy from level 0 to level 4 follow three property, and that property give us the facility that we get. There is no such you can say ambiguity or something or any conflict like that, like conflict like thing. Okay, first is inclusion property. So what is inclusion property? Here in this diagram, you please see, let us start from level 4. That a particular magnetic tape unit have a segment, say segment G or segment F. If it is present, okay, here, started from here, that here if some word is present in CPU register, CPU register is the level 0, then inclusion property says that must present in the level 1 also, means cache. Okay. Now here you see, please follow the highlighted part, that M1 is the lowest level, Mn is the highest level. So inclusion property states that outermost whatever present in the inner level, that is present also in the outer level, and everything is present in the outermost level. So here in CPU register, whatever the word are present, that word means access by words from the cache block 32 bytes, such as block A. Okay. Now whatever the words are present from A block, means here in the cache the particular unit is block. So in a block, from a block its 4 byte word is present in CPU register. Now inclusion property assure this thing that word will be present in cache in a particular block, then that block will be present, means a block will be present in main memory in a particular page, and that page of main memory will be present in a segment of HDD, and that particular segment will also present if we use the level 4, means the magnetic tape unit backup storage, then that particular segment will be present in the magnetic tape unit. So here the inclusion property says that if the particular data is present at the lowest level, then obviously CPU register, obviously it should present in the highest level. Okay, now here the reverse is not true. Why reverse is not true? Because here the from lower level to higher level the capacity is decreasing, so obviously data may present in HDD disk storage, but it may not present in main memory. Whatever required from that HDD, that will be retrieved. So here the from lowest level to highest level, this inclusion property is applicable, that whatever data is present in the higher level, lower level, that must present in the higher level. Okay, now here this is the inclusion property. Now here in this case, there is the question is that if some particular, then the question is, sir, if some change happen in the uh, lower level data, then how change will be propagate? That is assured by coherence property. In coherence property requires a copy of the same information item at the successive memory level be consistent. Means what? That 4 byte, if you change the 4 byte word value in CPU register, that should reflect at each and every successive memory level. Okay, and up to the highest memory level. Okay, now here there is two way to achieve this coherence property. First method is, please follow the highlighted part, write through. Now this write through means that immediate update, means you do update in I, you immediately update I plus 1. You, as in I plus 1 update happen, then you immediate update I plus 2. And the second method is write back, means what? We delete the update in I plus 1 until the word is modified in the MI, is replaced or removed from MI. So here what happened, that in every particular instruction we have seen what are the particular 4 main phase of instruction execution. And, the instruction executions have 4 phase: fetch, decode, execute, write back. Fetch the instruction, decode the instruction, then execute. At the execution time, fetch, retrieve the operand, and then write back means write back the result. Now when you are doing the write back, then you are replacing that particular word in MI. Okay, now in MI you are replacing that particular word. So then the modification of MI plus 1 will happen. Means what? Whenever write back happen, write back means what? That Now the operations is complete with that data. Result is present in mi. Now mi will going to do the write back in mi I plus 1. Then mi I plus 1 have the new updated information data from mi. Okay. Now similarly from I plus 1 it will be write back to I plus 2 also. Okay. So the memory replacement policies uh, facilitate these things. That memory replacement policies means that which particular page from the main memory will be replaced by new page. Your main memory size is restricted, so you have to decide that which page I have to keep in main memory and which page I have to remove from main memory for new operation. Okay. So there is several policies are there. Now another particular property is locality of reference. There is three type of locality of reference. One is temporal. Temporal locality of, here the locality of reference means what? If some particular operation happen at the memory location 1000, then here same operation may happen with the memory location 1000 data again. Okay, means what? Say for example there is a loop. Now loop is iterated one with the same set of instruction. So that means what? Same particular data are used. So same particular data is used from the same location. So here in case of, for in this case, recently referenced item instruction or data are likely to be referenced again in the near future. So this is temporal locality. Okay. Now spatial locality, this refer to the tender of a process to access time whose address are near to one another. Okay. Now here near to one another, say for example operation on table or array, access of a certain cluster area in the address. So here near to one another means what? Spatial locality means here you are accessing the data at present at memory location 1000. So it is possibility is there that 1005 data at 1005 may be required next in the next instruction. Okay. So here that is reflect the uh, spatial locality, that is this tendency for a process to access items whose address are near to one another, means 1000 and 1005 are near to one another. So process are going to access this because near to one another data are spatially connected. When a spatial 1000 and another data is present in 10,000, so they are spatially differ from each other. As they are spatially differ, then the process probability of that process will going to access 1000 then 10,000, that is less, but probability is that process will going to access 1000 then 1005, that is more. So that is spatial locality. Then sequential locality means what? The when the execution of instruction follow a sequential order unless a branch instruction, then there is a uh, sequential locality happen, means what? That next instruction in the sequence will be used, next memory location in the sequence will be used for the next instruction. So here the ratio of in order execution to out order execution, so is roughly 5 to 1. 5 to 1 in order execution means the sequence are execution happen in a sequence. Out of order means there is a branch and that branch create a out of order execution. So if else, normally this create the branch in program. Now memory design implication. There is sequentiality in program behavior also contribute the spatial locality, because sequentially coded instruction and array elements are often stored in adjacent location. Now here, next thing we are going to see, that is memory capacity planning. Now memory capacity planning is a particular thing, that what will be the capacity of register, what will be the capacity of cache, what will be the capacity of main memory in respect of bytes. The unit of transfer is, in case of cache it is block, in case of main memory it is page, in case of HDD it is segment. But capacity, the total capacity, how we are going to determine the effective do the capacity planning. So here the memory hierarchy is determined by the effective access time to any level. It's depend on heat ratio, please follow the highlighted part, and access frequency at successive level. Now here heat ratio means when you get the data at that particular level. So here, for example, heat ratio is the concept defined for any two adjacent level of memory hierarchy. What is happening, that if we found an information in MI, we call it heat, otherwise we call it miss, means the information is not present in MI level. So the MI level information is not present, then we have to go for MI plus 1. So here the access frequency for MI is Fi, as if that now here this is a, if the heat ratio is Hi, then miss ratio is 1 minus Hi. Okay, a total probability is 1. Heat ratio is Hi, then the miss ratio is 1 minus Hi. Now here, for example, if for a ith level starting from 1, there is missing is happening. Miss happening means what? Here the access frequency is multiplication of, here you see 1 minus Hi, means at the first level miss happen, 1 minus H2 second level miss happen, up to 1 minus Hi minus 1, at the I minus 1 also miss happen, then Hi, that means at the I level the particular heat happen, that information is available at the ith level of the memory. Then Fi represent the access frequency. Now the access frequency will, this indeed the probability of successful accessing MI. Now when I minus 1 misses at the lower levels and hit at MI. So here obviously the, due to the locality property, the access frequency decrease very rapidly from low to high. Means here access frequency means what? Access frequency means the heat ratio. Now heat ratio, if the particular amount of space is less, then obviously the access frequency the particular, in case of access frequency, uh, it's decreased from low to high level. Okay, so in case of access frequency, it decrease from low to high level means that you are lower level memory you are going to access more, higher level memory you are going to access less. So here the access frequency is decreasing from low to high level. Means what? First, your register, you need data in register, you check in cache. If the data is there in cache, that's access, no more further access. Your goal is fulfilled. If data is not in cache, then further access of main memory. So the access frequency at the lowest level is high, corresponding to, and it is decreasing from low to high level. Now effective access time is the total access time is required. Now the when the, as I told you, that whenever a particular miss, there may be hit or there may be miss. Okay, now we always try to achieve high hit ratio. Every time a miss occur, a penalty must be paid to access the next higher level. Means what? If the particular data is not present at the cache level, then you have to cache level the miss happen. Miss happen means 1 minus h1. Then you have to go for main memory. Then the access time will be more. Okay, because what? First the miss happen, and then the access next successive memory level will be accessed for that same information. So the misses has been called block misses in cache. Means whenever we are talking about that miss, we are searching our information, and that information is not present in block of, in the block memory, sorry, in the cache memory, as the cache unit of transfer is what? Between main memory and cache, that is block. So here block misses means what? That block is not present in that particular cache. So that block miss happen, and block should be bring from the main memory. Similarly, when in main memory, that miss term is page fault. Means what? In the main memory, the unit of transfer is page. Now if we are searching for a information which is present in page 13, and the page 13 is not present in main memory, then a page fault happen. And whenever the page fault happen, then there is a access for the next memory level, that is HDD, for the particular page 30. Now it will be bring to main memory, and then the particular information is available. So here the block and page are the unit of transfer of this level. Now the particular access, effective access time, this is a particular time penalty for a page fault is longer than the block miss, due to the fact that T1 is less than T2 less than T3. Means what? Time penalty. Time penalty means what? That first register need that information. So from the cache, it will try to access it, but in the cache it is not available. So the time penalty is T1. Then in the cache, it is not available, then you have to go for the main memory. Then that time penalty is T2. So T1 will be always less than T2, means the time required, uh, time penalty for lower level is low and the time penalty for higher level is high. Okay. Now this time penalty is calculated between two successive level. Okay. That between cache memory and main memory, what is the time penalty happen for a particular page? Means say the time penalty for page fault is longer than the than of our block miss. Means block miss means what? That block is not present in cache, from the main memory it should bring. Page fault means what? The page is not present in the main memory, from the hard disk it should be bring. So here the effective access time, we have seen the frequency Fi. So for the n level memory, the effective access time is Fi into Ti. So here up to 2n. So Fi, we have seen that Fi is nothing but the particular multiplication of all the miss ratio, then the hit ratio at that particular level. So here T effective is this. Now here the total, we have seen the frequency, access frequency, then effective access time, and then hierarchical optimization. Hierarchy optimization means the total cost of a memory hierarchy is estimated as follows. What is the total cost of memory hierarchy? That summation of all the cost per unit into all the levels capacity. Okay. Now here the cost per unit is higher in the lower level, lower in the higher level. Capacity is lower in the lower level and higher in the higher level. So the optimal design of the memory hierarchy should result in a T effective, means that effective time, effective access time, considering the fault, means what? Always there is heat happen, it is not there, there may be fault. So that access frequency will going to represent the miss or hit with the time penalty, will going to give you the effective time. So here the hierarchy should result in an effective time Tf close to Ti of Mi, a total cost close to the cost of Mn. Okay. Now T effective means the effective time for access for optimal design. Optimal design means what? Everything is perfect. So then we are saying that effective time is that the at the level 1 the data is available. The total cost is whatever the cost of Mn. Okay. Now cost of Mn means at the particular highest levels cost. Okay. Now lower level cost starts very ignorable. That's why only highest level cost, that is the cost of the particular total cost. Okay. Now here optimal process can be formulated in linear programming problem, giving a ceiling C0 total cost. So here that C total is summation of Ci into Si, which is less than C0. So here C0 is a upper ceiling, that total cost should be less than C0. So here the memory capacity planning means what will be the capacity of what cache, what will be the capacity of main memory, what will be the capacity of hard disks. So for that particular capacity planning, you have to consider this thing: heat ratio, effective access time, heat ratio, access frequency, effective access time, and the total cost. Now here, this is an example. Here, design of a memory hierarchy. Consider a design of 3-level memory hierarchy with following specification. So here the cache, it have a access time 25 nanosecond, capacity 512 kilobyte, and the cost per kilobyte is $0.12. Now here the design goal is, what was the optimal case? Optimal case is that the time will be the design goal is to achieve the effective memory access time T equal to 850 nanosecond with a cache hit ratio H1 equal to 0.98 and heat ratio H2 0.99 in main memory. Now effective memory access time of the whole memory hierarchy. Okay. Now also total cost of the memory hierarchy is upper bound by $1,500. Okay. Now total cost of the memory $1,500. Now this memory hierarchy capacity are so given. Okay, the cost are given, access time is given. Now you have to, the goal is that we have to set that particular memory access time to 850. Okay, means the upper limit is 850. So you have to achieve an access time that is less than 800, less than equal to 850 nanosecond. So here you see that memory cost hierarchy will be calculated as, that is every level cost into the cost per kilobyte, every level capacity into cost per kilobyte, that capacity. So the maximum capacity of the disk is thus obtained, that is 40 gigabyte without exceeding the budget. So here without exceeding the budget means what? That $1,500. So within the $1,500, your restriction is that these are the cost per kilobyte. Per kilobyte, this is the cost. And here in the S3, what are the things are unknown? Here the unknown things are that T2, that you have to determine, that access time of the RAM, and S3, the that you have to determine the capacity of hard disks. Okay, so here the maximum capacity of hard disks can be obtained, that is 4 gigabyte without exceeding the budget if the budget is 1500. Okay, now here we want to know the T2 means access time of main memory. So the access time of the main memory is, so we have effective memory access time is this. So we proved the value, means cache heat ratio and memory heat ratio. Then we get the particular T2, the access time, it is 1250 nanosecond. So this is a simple problem for today. That's all. You please share your roll number via chat box. You please share your roll number via chat box.
Sir, where to give the roll numbers?
Hmm?
Where to give the roll number in the chat?
In the chat.